The Torah portion of Chayei Sarah, beloved Sarah has passed away, and Abraham, after dealing with his beloved wife, with the burial and crying, and he then does the second most important thing, and that is taking care of his children, of Isaac, finding a good shidduch, a good wife for Isaac. He sends his slave Eliezer. Eliezer goes to a faraway place, and he finds that right shidduch in Rivka. There is then a feast at night, and he meets Betuel, her father, and Lavan, her conniving, slippery brother, and there's a dialogue, a fascinating dialogue. In the heart of this dialogue, Eliezer says, "No, can I take her?" And Lavan and Betuel say this fascinating pasuk, this very powerful pasuk. Vayan Lavan uBetuel vayomru, me'Hashem yitzeh hadavar, lo nuchal daber elecha ra tov. Habibi, it's not for us to decide, it's for God to decide if what's going on here is a good thing or a bad thing. What does this mean? What are Lavan and Betuel suddenly becoming philosophical? What is going on here, right? He just asked if he can take her. What are you talking about? We need to ask another question. Who are you, Eliezer? Who are you really? Interestingly enough, we find that there are two midrashim about Eliezer. There is a midrash or midrashim that see Eliezer as a good person wanting to do good things, and there's a midrash that sees Eliezer as a bad person wanting to do bad things. According to the first midrash, Eliezer is the devoted, dedicated slave of Avraham. He wants to find that right shidduch for Avraham, and because he is so dedicated and devoted, a miracle happens and he gets kfitzat haderech. What is kfitzat haderech? It means that going from point A, Canaan, Israel, to Haran, which is a 17-day journey plus more, he does it in one day. He is taken, and then miraculously he finds Rivka and then gets to come back. In fact, he is so dedicated that another miracle happens, and he even is granted to be in the Garden of Eden with Abraham after Abraham dies while he is still alive. Right? This is, when you want to do good, you can even break the rules of nature, the dimensions of time and space. Amazing. But then there is another midrash, that Eliezer is a bad person wanting to do bad things. According to this midrash, there is a nasty past between Eliezer and Avraham, and Eliezer once wanted to steal Avraham's wife Sarah. According to this very same midrash, Eliezer in his journey also wants to steal Rivka for himself. And then an angel comes from above, he takes them, does the same kfitzat derech, this warping in time from point A to point B, everything gets back safely. And Abraham is very concerned if something happened on the way, and we know nothing happened, and the rest is history, except for one thing. In time, Eliezer becomes none other than Og Melech HaBashan, that giant evil king, which Moshe then thrashes and bashes. And of course, as we know, Og Melech HaBashan not only lived for hundreds of years, because he goes back for the time of Breshit all the way to the time of Moses, but he's also one of the biggest giants in the world. So according to this midrash too, when you want to do a act of pure evil, unfortunately, those powers can also change the energy in cosmos, just like the powers of good can change the energy we have to stretch or break natural rules of time and space, so too can evil. And I think what Lavan and Betuel are doing here, Lavan, that slippery, conniving Vildachai, if ever he did one good thing in his life, it was this pasuk. It was to come and teach us an important lesson. He's coming and saying to Eliezer, who are you really? And what do you want to achieve? Because you should know that the power of cosmos, you can change the way you want. If you are genuinely a good person, a good lover to your wife, a good father to your children, that is the way to defy time and space. However, unfortunately, if you are a Vildachaya and you're truly evil, unfortunately, you can also defy and change the rules of nature that way as well. And this is the battle between good and evil. In this Torah portion in the future, obviously, Abraham wins, Eliezer loses, or vice versa, depending on how we see it. Thoughts on Parashat Chayei Sarah, good and evil. Shabbat Shalom.